So in essence, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm writing this information. So this is going to come to you very soon. But if you think about it, like, what are we going to show on a metric screen? There's a graph, type of graph, data frequency, statistical functions on it. You lay over stuff, the alerts that were raised, uh, like anomalous forecast, things like that. So these are all the things you can do, the actions on it. And then in the visual interaction aspect, this is where the expertise that you guys bring to the table will really shine, right? I mean, as we are trying to look at saying, hey, if I hover over the graph, there's an actual metrics for X and Y stuff going about. You can automatically adjust the date and time frequency. You can do certain gestures. Let's say if the same thing was available on a tablet or an iPad, things like that we still need to figure out, by the way, as to how that would work. Or can we just build something in a web app and then it works, or does it need to be wrapped in Electron, etc.? So maybe that's one of the first, one of the things that we should also explore. If I build a web app, let's say standard React based application, we should write a small, maybe write a small program if we don't have an answer. And then if I want to support the gestures, swipe left, right, and pinch and unpinch and things like that, do I need to support them natively as part of the control from React itself, or it just works out of the box when it goes onto the iPad or a tablet? Do you know the answer to that?
Sir, again, what?
So basically, if I actually,
all right.
yeah, okay, it's taking a little bit slower. Okay, so what I was saying was, see, on the phone, you can do swipe left, or phone, or basically iPad and tablets, right? You can do swipe left, swipe right, paint, unpinch, etc. These are called gestures. With graph, we can do very interesting stuff. Let's say if there is a tablet and I'm showing you a big graph, and if I can put my finger on there, it will show the x-axis. I mean, there are certain things that are very natural and intuitive on a tablet or a phone. Now, if I'm building a React-based application, my feeling right now is I think we need to support these gestures by writing code for that React component. It's not going to be, if I just show that thing up on a tablet, it will work. However, Slack does some interesting stuff. Slack basically wraps it up in Electron, but I don't know that wrapping up in an Electron or a framework like that, does it suddenly open up all these gestures and things like that to the application or not? So,
we need to research on this, but I believe we can find some components pack where this will be supported already. So I believe it will be much easier and faster to buy some library of components instead of implementing by our own.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things that is coming down the pipe, and I said I'll bring it up to the team today. So you start thinking. So I'm writing that doc that I showed. That's for the metric screen. I'll be writing a very similar stuff for the monitor screen, and then build some screens. But certain things like that we want to do, we can just add to our backlog, our work sprint and research. It doesn't need a full screen to be done. Maybe one, someone, I don't know, Yevgeny, Ivan, Vladimir, you, someone writes, either does the research or separately also writes a small code to say, hey, how does it work? Can we do it? I mean, I believe Asperity also has its own chart and graph tool. I mean, I've seen you selling, Asperity sells that on Think Design or some site, I forget. Maybe we can use one of your component and maybe that can be extended. So, it's like that's one of the things we should add. You guys have now, you now have that access to Rike, right? I saw some logins. As soon as, GitHub is down today. There is some issue going on with GitHub, the software company. But once it is up, we will start, putting in the access controls and everything, or giving you access to the security team. And then one of the things, then we can start putting in some of these sprint items, so to speak. So then everybody can be, we can just start assigning it, which is why in the meantime, I had requested you on Sunday to divvy up the clickstream analysis, the clickstream part. Maybe, each one, Vladimir takes one and Ivan takes one, Evgeny takes another one. We all take one each and review like what are the features and capability, and you can provide a framework that everyone just fills in, put in some, say, does it support all kinds of, buttons and all the UI components? Does it support the click events? What it is like, and then we can just do a quick analysis of those.
Well, actually, we have already done it, and I sent you a report PDF, and we thought that today Eugene will make some short presentation about it. Oh,
awesome. Okay, sorry, I have been just from one meeting to another meeting. I just saw
I understand.
Perfect. Oh, very nice. Okay, yeah, please go ahead. Then in that case, I am all ears. I'll stop talking, and one of you, who's going to present, you said?
Actually, we have a bunch of topics we want to discuss. So let's start with process questions and then move to this one. So first of all, we want to understand what are goals of these daily calls, what you want to achieve by them.
Okay, so this is just a classic agile stand-up. Initially, I think the first few of this we might do a little bit more, it's like half an hour, but otherwise it should not be more than 10-15 minutes, whatever. Everybody just report the status, and more importantly, if they are blocked on anything, etc. Right? It's a classic agile Scrum stand-up. And then we will figure out, I also set it up for every day, but if required, we will adjust the frequency as we see fit. So that's the simple goal. Nothing more than that. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to be informed about status every day.
It's you follow agile Scrum.
Yeah, I'm asking you about this because on all other projects we have these daily stand-ups in our office. So the question is it necessary to have a call? Yeah, to have a call with you, or we can just continue our standard call and be.
I see. Because you probably are doing this Scrum in Russian.
Yeah, this is true, but it's not.
Then in that case, you gotta teach me Russian, my friend.
Maybe someday. And the other reason why I asked, because for us it may be more convenient to meet some different time. And if you want to be on call, can we we can start this time, but maybe in a week we will understand that it's not convenient. Is it possible to move our call, for example, 1 hour earlier?
Earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So right now it is 9:30 your time. You want to do it at 8:30 your time?
Even more at 8 o'clock, so we can call. It's just because of my other calls on morning. It will be more convenient.
Yeah, no worries.
They-
We can do 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock your time. So that would be 6:30. I mean, we're just
Yeah.
moving it by 1.5 hour earlier. So it's like at 5.
5.
My time.
Yeah, 5 here.
We
Okay.
can do it. No worries.
Okay, for now, let's save current time, but we will discuss.
Tomorrow
Yeah,
we'll do it at 5, and then okay, starting to I'll change the.
No. For this week, let's continue at 9:30, and then we will see if it's okay or we need to move it. It's just I want to discuss if it's possible at all. Maybe.
It's
Yeah,
possible,
okay.
man. I mean, anything for my team.
Okay, and last question on this topic: should we invite Charles for that for these calls or?
Charles, once in a while. I mean, I'm going to add him as optional, so he can join. I mean, yeah. So it's this is again the classic Dev Scrum. So it's the way I look at it is me, you, Vlad, Vladimir. Hey, Vladimir, is Vlad or Vladimir?
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
Yeah.
Do you
What
prefer
do you
Vladimir
prefer?
or do you prefer Vlad?
Maybe just Vlad. It's
Vlad?
okay.
Okay. All right. So it's like me, you, Vlad, Ivan or Ivan?
Ivan.
Ivan,
Ivan.
and Yevgeny.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we are the required. Everyone else, Anna, both Annas, Charles. I'll also, there's somebody called Willie. Willie manages all of our infrastructure. So he's got many years of experience in managing infrastructure. He's an admin person. He's a very detailed. He knows everything about everything on the server side and everything. So,
If we don't have access anywhere, we can call ask Willie.
Willie the person, yeah, he'll get it done. So, and then again, as we start building stuff, etc., we will involve Willie. So there are few people who will. I will expand out also and make them optional. In times when we need them, we will definitely invite them. But we are the core team here in that sense. So.
Okay, that's all clear. So next topic, we got our invites to Reich, and we noticed that it's some new trial workspace, and actually we thought that we will work in same workspace as the whole project. So what plan on this, and maybe if it's not clear for you how to integrate us, then we can start with our internal tools. We use Jira and Confluence to manage projects, and we can just see how to integrate our usual process into your tools.
Yeah, so Reich integrates automatically with GitHub and GitHub project, so maybe maybe I will invite Charles to discuss this in more details and give you like how we do stuff here and see if that makes sense.
He already give us information about it, but I was confused that this is not, we was not invited to main Reich workspace, and it maybe, I'm not sure if if it was some mistake or what plan on project management here.
The main workspace, meaning?
I thought we will be able at least to see other projects. I mean timelines, how they manage, just to understand how you manage other part of a project.
Oh, okay. I'll ask Charles to show that, and it's what we do is typically we keep things a little bit separate, and then the back end there is automation and everything which just builds stuff and all that. So
in this, I understand.
Yeah. So I will talk to Charles, and I mean, why don't we do this? I'll schedule another session once we have the hub access and everything, because the way we have set it up is, when you create a task, automatically if you create like a pull request, it updates like, and the status changes and everything. And so I will ask Charles to do one more detailed deep dives where you can also get more questions answered, or if you need any access to anything, you can ask him about that, etc.
Also, we have a question about how you manage bugs, and I think it's a question for Paulus Charles then. Okay.
So I'm also a lot more familiar with Jira and another product called SIM, which was an internal AWS product. But this is something else that we are trying out over here. So it's working so far. It has its own, it's like any new software. It is built with a certain use case in mind, right? So it has its own good parts and bad parts, so to speak, and it's just more getting familiar or used to it. So even I'm not completely familiar with it. So
okay. So let's discuss it then with Charles on other call. Okay, then just last topic before we go to our analysis result. It's just we want to let you know what next steps we see. Sorry. So first, I sent it an email. So first, and I think it's the most crucial for now, it's get some project documentation. So we will dig deeper into your product. Then we want to understand what features we will implement first, just to maybe to investigate tools, libraries, etc. And also we want to start build our plan on how we will move on the project. So then first of all, now we can we made some analysis for clickstream, but it's we see that it's not a lot of work, and we want more. And for example, we can start to review some technical documentation, or maybe some documents Charles told us you have in Google Drive describing how project works itself. So it will be good if we could get access to these documents, so we can start to learn them. And also I think it's not mentioned, but I know you discussed with Tibor and Alexander that we need to expand team faster. So we want to start working on some documents and instruction how to involve new people. Just list of things you need to read to need to learn when you start working on Shoreline's products. So this is the list of first tasks for us to start working with.
Okay. Yeah, no, the ramp up guide makes sense. As far as the team elasticity is concerned, we are still figuring that out as to how fast we grow and when we grow. But whenever we grow, obviously, this ramp up guide will help a lot. So that would be good one. We will start now that we have the common drive. We will start putting in the stuff and docs. Actually, I put in one of the presentations that we I put in the shared drive, the presentation. We'll add more docs to it. And project plan, we need to build it, but I think you were asking that question. So there is clarity, which is we are building the monitoring part of the feature set first. The core pieces within monitoring are three really: metrics, monitors, and tickets, alarms and tickets. So, and some of the stuff that we want to do around that is that, the pinching and all that we just discussed. So we should start looking into that. One of the other tasks that I had was, did the team get a chance to log into Datadog and SignalFX and play with it? Just familiarize with what's available out there today.
Yeah, we did it last week, so we have accounts and guys checked how it works. And actually, last time we asked you if that Datadog has provide a rich experience to build custom dashboards. So we ask you if we will build something familiar with it, with this level of customization. Okay, I was also I wanted to ask you to share with us those wireframes you showed us last time. I know they may still be in draft, but we at least we can look at them and see what terms. So maybe we want to start build our glossary. So because probably we are not familiar with some stuff you're using daily. So we want to start look at that and start to understand everything. So,
I will share on the drive. I'll send you email out. I'll share on the drive. The alarms and ticketing is there. I'm working on the metrics and the monitoring parts of it right now. And then probably few other stuff. I'll start adding those stuff in. So.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, and so it will be great if you could share with us new documents, even when they still in draft, so we can early understand what will be next part. And maybe if it's possible, we can even help you to complete the drafts or give you early feedback on them.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, okay, so all questions from my list, maybe someone will add something, and now I want to pass forward to Evgeny, so he will give some short presentation of our analysis. Evgeny?
Okay.
Should I share something, or it's enough to just describe?
I have sent a PDF with a table we built online.
Yeah.
So you can just
I have that open. So yeah.
Okay, we analyzed systems you provided with several criteria that you described in previous call. That is possibility to track some custom events, for example, click on some buttons, menu item, and so on, and also possibility to view to make some visualization of this data, and possibility to get the raw data from the service. Yes, and for example, the first system is Google Analytics. It provides only cloud solution and has everything to customize different events. Has integration with React in order to simply do it. But the one disadvantage of the system that we cannot get the raw data only because Google Analytics make the sampling of data and it aggregates, it makes some reports, but you cannot get what is exactly in its database. There is a possibility to make export of this data, but it requires some premium account user. It costs about $150,000 per year, as we see, and
$150,000 US dollars.
150,000, yeah, per year.
Okay.
And in this case, you can export this into BigQuery. Yeah, that is some issue of this system. But in our cases, Google Analytics is good. Yeah. The next system is Mixpanel. It also provides only cloud solution. Has some integrations with React library, but this integrations is not provided by this company, maybe because Google Analytics provides its own integration library, but for this system it's some maybe open source and third-party solution and so on. Yeah. It has customizations like Google has visualization. Also, there is a possibility to export the raw data, but also it is possible to export this data only in Google Cloud or Amazon Web Services. Yeah. In this case, you also have some account in these systems here, and as we see it. Its possibilities of these systems are good, but not so good as Google Analytics. And I'm not sure it's better, but it has some kind of export data if it is important for you. Yeah. Next system.
Did we look at the cost? Is it very costly? Mixpanel?
Unfortunately, we did not investigate the prices for the system yet.
No worries.
Yeah, but if you need, we can do this investigation also. Okay, next system is Vilytics. It seems that this system doesn't exist at all because we check it that. For example, each site doesn't contain anything except blog posts and nothing about this system. And last mentioning of this system was about 2 years ago in some social networks and so on. And it looks like this system doesn't exist and we should not consider it as an option. Yeah. Okay, next system is Matomo. It's this system provides both solutions, cloud and also self-hosted. And the self-hosted solution is open source. Yeah. About integration with React, it doesn't have some library for it, but it has integration with any SPA application with manual some coding and so on, but it has this possibility. About customization, he has a good customization of everything you want, custom buttons, events, menus, and also you can assign any data, no, some restricted set of data to all your requests, maybe to all your data. Yeah, you can extend it. About data, you have full access of your data. If you use cloud solution, you can export it to anything you want. If you have a self-hosted solution, in this case, you have a database on your server, and that data is yours. You can do it anything you want. And also, if you build some maybe reports, you can use all this data because there is some difference with Google Analytics, for example. It can not use everything, but it gets some maybe set of data in order to approximate total result, some kind of statistics analysis. Yeah, but in this case you can use all the data, and you have good visualization. You have a lot of plugins for visualization.
Sorry, the light auto cuts off.
Yeah.
It switches off automatically. So sorry for continue, please.
Okay, and it looks like this system fit all your needs, and also we found that it also has session recording feature, as we also described previously, and it can be turned on in future, maybe for debugging as you want, and so on. It looks like this system provides everything for the first step for analysis and for second step for debugging maybe and report analysis of user. Yeah. Okay, and this system looks good, but if you have self-hosted solution, you should do something manually in order to set up it and put it on your servers and so on. Yeah. Next system is Open Web Analytics. It has only self-hosted solution, and we found that it doesn't have integration with React and single-page application. Maybe we didn't found any ways to integrate with single-page applications for this system, and I'm not sure if it has also customization options in order to buttons, menus, and so on. And it's written on PHP, and you should also put it on your server and configure it. But it looks like it's more restricted with features than our systems, and I don't think it's a good option for us in this case. The last system is a Signal.
Evgeny, you was talking about OVA that doesn't have integration with React.
Yeah. Open Web Analytics, yeah. And the last system is Signal. Yeah. It's for this system we did not found many information, just some mention on the internet, like this system exists, but something special about this feature for now it's in progress, I can say, because maybe I can find, for example, a list of some systems that we can use for analysis. Yes, it's about 20 systems, and we have this system in the list, and we have a link to this project, and when I open it with link, it says me the link is unavailable. Yeah, and that's why we need to make further investigation, maybe, or maybe this systems we describe it is enough. I don't know. Okay, and to summarize it, it looks like that two systems are good. It's Google Analytics or Matoma, but Matoma has full access to the data you collect, and you can export it and do everything. And this is advantage for Google. Yeah. And also it has additional feature to session recording. Yeah. But you need to do some manual configurations if you use self-hosted version. Yeah.
Okay.
We
All
can.
right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Did we look at any like funnel analysis or anything capability like that in Matoma? So I can track a user through a user session to say, okay, where in Wizard did they drop off or things like that?
No, I don't think we investigate this, but we can do it for Matoma. And
Yeah.
for example, Google Analytics as top two choices for us, as we see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think this is good analysis, by the way, guys. So thanks for the work. I think Matoma, in my analysis also, it ended up as Matoma would be the choice we might end up with, but it looks like that is what you are also recommending. So that's good. I'm just trying to think, didn't get too much of shortcomings with Matoma, except that you just have to do it yourself. You gotta download the open source version, you install it yourself, and then you run the servers. So all your event data goes into the servers that you are hosting.
Yeah. If it's a problem for the beginning, we can also use cloud hosting, Matoma. So, and I checked pricing. They bill per page views. So, for example, if you have 1 million page views per month, it will cost 239 euros per month. So it's not expensive.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not as expensive. It's more. It ends up becoming more a question of, do we want our data out there? And is it multi-tenant or is it single tenant kind of thing? But pricing wise, it seems pretty okay, because anyway, we want to use this for our Shorelines website. So one good investigation to do would be as to how compatible or transferable is the cloud offering to the open source. Can we start on the cloud and then move stuff in-house when we grow really big, or if there is a need to do it? That would be something to investigate. Many of these cloud services will have things which are different compared to the downloadable open source version. So there will be differences in feature. We probably should look at that. But I think I am also I'm leaning towards Matoma.
Okay, guys, do you have any other topics to discuss? Because I don't have anything else. Okay, so maybe you have additional questions to ask?
No, I'll review this. I need to go and click on some of these links to understand. But it looks like it does take care of all the. You click this button, that button, this thing, that thing, da, 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 da. So If that is the case, then we are covered.
Okay, so for
Nothing
tomorrow.
we should. I'm just thinking. I'm just looking through their site right now as we speak. Maybe after the first 2 or 3 pages, first 2 or 3 things, we can start we can start thinking about. I can take up a small account or sign up for a small account, and we can play with Matoma and see does it work for our case or not. So we just integrate it, and then as we are testing, all of us are testing and playing with our site. All those events are going in there. So in essence, we can see does it work or not early on itself. Maybe that might not be a bad idea. So all right, okay, that's what we'll do.
Okay. So in this case, we will check documentation or maybe contact support to check if it's possible to move from cloud to self-hosted if we start with cloud. And then, well, actually, we can kick off a small project from our template, host on our servers, and start integrating it to see how it works in terms of tracking button clicking, moving around pages, etc.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe we can start with a small experiment, at least if nothing clear, put in a button, a checkbox, a combo bar, and a simple page in a React or something, and maybe 2-3 pages like that, and we click on it. In fact, you know what? I have a better idea. That's okay. We should do that. But in 2 or 3 days, I have another engineer also working on the AWS demo app. He had started long time back. So that should be ready, and maybe we can. I can give you I can also give the Spirity team the control, or he's going to set up a CloudFormation template. Maybe we can install CloudFormation template for our play thing also, and then integrate Matomo into that code and see how it works and what happens. So that's like a bookstore demo, like a real bookstore demo. It has EC2 instances, Redis, and this and that, and everything in the backend. Brings up books and recommendations and top 20 and all that. That will be a good experiment to do a quick run on that. So, all right, I'll add that to our list.
Okay, so for today, actually we got an invitation to GitHub. We will see, we'll get accounts, see how it looks, and also check deeper check Matomo pricing to understand how it will be charged, and options to move from cloud to self-hosted.
Yeah, and also look at the chart, the a React chart. How does it work on tablet, iPad, any libraries over there? Unfortunately, right now it is. I would start putting it into our Seam or Rike kind of thing, so we can just pick it from there. But right now, because it is still in flux, we can just discuss this amongst us and then go from there. Hopefully by next week it should be all streamlined a little bit.
Okay. Well, we'll send you a follow-up mail just to list what we will do after a call. Okay, so and tomorrow calls will be same time, and you will invite Charles to discuss process deeply.
Yeah, let me talk to Charles, and we can and I can confirm it, because right now I don't know if he has anything else scheduled, etc. So, but let me confirm that, and then and we'll figure out for tomorrow's call.
Okay.
And I-
And also, you mentioned that you use Slack as chat. What domain is shoreline.slack.com or shorelinesoftware.slack.com?
Give me 1 second. I'll tell you.
I think we should have access by our emails without sending any invites.
I think it's a Shoreline software.
Uh-huh.
Let me see. I will. I think it's this Shoreline Software Inc.slack.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll invite. I'll send the invitations.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And because when we were waiting you to call, it was only possibility to via email, and it's not very reliable channel. So that's why I think.
Yeah, we use Discord also.
Discord.
Yeah, we use. Let me talk to Charles and see. See, the thing is, we started with Slack, and then we have started using Discord also. So we use both. We might be moving off of this to. We might be moving off of Slack to Discord. Let me see. I'll confirm tomorrow, and we'll set up a channel so that way it's easy to get send message to me, and we can all communicate very quickly. So
Okay.
That's my to-do. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to in follow-up email too. Okay, so that's all for today then.
All right, perfect. Look at all this stuff. Look at how it works. Just familiarize yourself. This Signal FX, all those guys.
Yeah.
It's so the ones that we. Give me 1 second. I'll stop presenting, so I'll back on the screen. Okay, the ones that we care about, the companies in our what we call market participants are Datadog, Signal FX, Nagios, Prometheus/Grafana, CloudWatch, and SolarWinds. I'll send you the list, but these are the ones that these are the ones which we care about, so to speak, or we say, okay, we always should be aware of what they can do and not do. So they stay in similar space, but a little bit differently. Each one of them has their own benefit, pros and cons. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll wait you. I will evaluate at least from you of this system you just mentioned.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. Then
Thanks,
see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.